Welcome to Lions Live 365. I'm your host, Michael Ayers, and today we're talking about the biggest questions of free agency. I am in the middle of setting up for my first mock draft of the year, and one of the things that I realized in the mock draft before I could even set it up is like, all right, so like, what's the plan? There are so many different questions that we need to answer before we really get to the draft. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys these questions. I have 7 questions, and I would like to hear y'all answers to these questions. Like, what do y'all think? Because I'm going to do my mock drafts with scenarios. Basically, I'm gonna do my mock drafts like, all right, Taylor Decker's not coming back. This person's not coming back. This is who we got in free agency, and then I'm gonna do my mock draft. But I want to ask y'all, what would y'all do, and what do y'all think actual, the actual right move is? What do you think will actually happen? So the biggest question of free agency, I'm sure you guys can figure out, that is Taylor Decker coming back? Like, what is the plan with Taylor Decker? Because there's like nuance to this. There's added things to this, right? We got, will he come back this season? Will he try to finish out his contract if he feels good after next season? Because he signed for the next two. And at the end of the day, will he age well? Like, he's been having like subtle declines, like they've been small, and but at the end of the day, you're basically getting the same guy, a guy who's okay run blocking, a guy that is a very good pass blocker, and every once in a while he'll just get absolutely beat. But for the most part, he's super solid. Like, he's just hard to be down on him too bad because he does his job and it's a hard one. But there's also like, you could get better, but you also could get a lot worse, right? Is to me, it feels like Jared Goff at tackle. Like, it's like, yeah, he's playing really well, and you could probably find better, but you can definitely get worse. And with him, it's more of an age thing and his shoulder. But like, say his shoulder starts feeling good, he plays a full season, the shoulder is fine after that season. Who's to say that he's going to not play 2 years, right? And then on top of that, will he just flat out retire? He could flat out retire. I'm not saying that's like a thing, but he's only 32. Like, there are tackles that play almost till 40. Like, if you feel good enough. So it's one of those things, like, you don't play through the injuries he's played through if you don't love the game. If you're not trying to see how far you can move forward with the Lions. And if he feels well, there's a good chance he can be here a lot longer than people intend. And hey, he might age well. He might stop the subtle decline, because, if your shoulder is better next year, you're going to play better than you did last year. And at the end of the day, he didn't play that bad. So that's the biggest question, right? Because it could turn from, we have to get a first round tackle, to, do we even need to draft tackle this year? Right? And that's just how I feel on it. Moving forward, question number 2. Will Penei play left tackle? Like, how comfortable are y'all with Penei Sewell playing left tackle? This is not like a question that I'm hearing asked enough. It's like, bro, if Penei is going to be a right tackle, and you are dead set on him just staying where he is, that means we are looking specifically for a left tackle. Like, so you're not going to pick a college player that's been a right tackle his whole career. It doesn't make sense. And it basically kind of locks you into, if Taylor Decker doesn't come back, we have to get a left tackle either in the draft or a veteran left tackle, and we need that person immediately. We have to be, basically, that has to be priority number 1, right? Whereas if you're comfortable with Penei playing left tackle, even though he's the best right tackle in the league, how much will his play drop off switching sides and getting used to blocking on the left again? How much of a left tackle can he be? Will his talent level at left tackle be identical? Will it fall off? Will Penei be dominant at left tackle as well? And if you're willing to do that, that means you have way more options on getting a right tackle or left tackle. It doesn't really matter, but you have way more options if you're comfortable with Penei moving over to left tackle. And that's just one of those things. Like I really had to ponder upon that because it's like, bro, he played left tackle before he got drafted, knowing that he's a possible left tackle. Taylor Decker just kept playing forever, and he's been at right tackle for some years now. Can he go back and still play at that level? Is a crazy ask, right? Because that, like, even if you have the best right tackle in the league, if you have no left tackle and you have issues on the interior, you're talking about a bottom of the league offensive line. So you got to make really, really hard decisions, based on everything else. And speaking of interior, speaking of the interior, let's talk about the interior. Who in the world is going to play center? Is Tate Ratledge going to play center? Is he going to, play guard and move to center like a ton of centers have had that career path, rookie guard, and then veteran center. That was the initial plan. Are they going to abandon that plan? Will you try Miles Frazier at center? I truly believe the glimpses that I saw at Miles Frazier, I like his awareness. I like his pass. I like his pass protection. He's not, I believe he's somewhat mobile. Like when I looked at, his tape versus Dallas, it looked pretty good. His only problem is, to me, is like false starts. And if you want to be honest, kind of hard to false start at center. So that'd be something I would look into. And are you willing, like how much capital are you willing to put into center? Are you willing to pay the big bucks for Tyler Linderbaum if that guy is even available? Connor McGovern is already kind of sprinkled out there that he wants $16 million a year, and I don't think he's worth that. I'm not sure, might be, but I'm no disrespect, but I'm just saying, wow. Well, I mean, I'm not paying $16 million a year for my second choice. Like that's a little much. Are you gonna go with a veteran like Cade Mays? Like this is crazy because it's like in the draft, this isn't one of those drafts where it's like a Frank Ragnow just looking at you like, yeah, he's gonna be one of the ones. Even Gray Zabel, he looked like he was gonna be one of the ones, right? And it's just like you have no clue what's gonna happen. Are they gonna do something else? Because if you're comfortable with Tate being at center, that means you can draft a a very good guard in this class, and there are a lot of good guards in this class, in my opinion. So like somebody like Vega or somebody along those lines. The dude Pregnon looks like a mauler. He looks just like our type of guard too. So like there's so many guards in these situations. But one, you gotta basically not believe in Miles Frazier. Two, you also need to know whether, hey, do you believe in Tate? That's my real thing. It was kind of hard to make that decision when I was thinking about doing my first mock draft. Um, but at the end of the day, I had to write up my scenario and run it. Then we have my next question. Are my safeties cooked? These are my guys. Like if anybody that knows me knows I love secondary play. I love corners. I love safeties. I love guys that take away the ball. So if you know me, you know how much I love Kirby Joseph. I think he is the best safety, might be the best safety I've seen in a Lions uniform. I can't think of too many others that just take the ball at the level that he continues to take the ball away. I truly believe if these guys could find a way to get back and stay healthy, that both of these players could be gold jacket guys. The only thing is, it's hard to get into the hall if you can't get on the field. And at the end of the day, Kirby's knee is going to be a major concern. I'm saying, people overreact to his Instagram stories. Is that mysterious what's going on? Brian Branch has an Achilles. His style of play is kind of like a linchpin of this team. The moment he got hurt, the run defense like just disappeared. The guys that we replaced these two with, they tried, but they could never be these players, right? And like, hey, I like Thomas Harper. I think he's going to be a quality safety. I think Avante can be a quality nickel corner / safety. Harper is the only guy we got under contract. Avante is a free agent. How much money does he want? And he has a history of injury history. He has a pretty extensive injury history. So is he going to be able to stay healthy after we pay him again? So that's just one of those things. Who knows what we're going to do? How much capital are you cool with investing into the safety position with all the other issues that you have, right? So that's some questions. That's a question there. And then the crazy thing is about Kirby, he's been out so long. There's no guarantee that whatever he does in the offseason, he could just come back like nothing was wrong. He's been out for that long. He can come back in the offseason and OTAs like, oh, look at God, knees feeling great, and at that point, like if you spent a bunch of capital into getting getting safety, you might feel stupid, right? So that's just moving forward. That's enough with that. Of course, NFL, Lions executives are going to know way more because they're tapped into the recovery. But that's just where I am with it. Do you believe in Christian Mahogany? Right, I am one of the people that do not believe in Christian Mahogany. I'm sorry if I yelled in your ear. I do not like Christian Mahogany at all. Right, when we stashed him for that year, I am 100% with stashing injured, especially offensive line and secondary players that should be second round picks or should be first round picks that fell into the fourth or fifth, because at the end of the day, especially if you're not okay with taking character issues, you got to take chances on injuries, and I want to take chances on somebody on people that have real talent, right? I thought Christian Mahogany had real talent, but his pass protection is awful. He's injury prone. He's getting injured more and more, right? It is one thing that come off your injury, come back healthy, come back right. I don't know if our ramp up periods in general is ramping up players way too quickly, and that's what's causing injury in training camp, and that's what's causing injuries when people come back. But maybe we need to slow down the ramp up period or whatever. But I'm not sold on Christian Mahogany. I feel like I'm cool with Miles Frazier challenging for that job, but I am definitely okay with adding more to the room, right? And when I say more to the room, it got to be more than Graham Glasgow. I'm sorry. I'm cool on the Grams. How much will we spend though? Right? I think we need 4 to 7 quality free agents, right? And I'm talking starters, I'm talking depth pieces. I want a rotation. I just watched 2 teams without a top 15 edge rusher go to the Super Bowl and one won it. We need a whole defensive end room. We need hey, get another guy. I want fresh legs on the defensive line. So that means we need a couple veteran defensive edges before we draft some, right? At the same time, some of these issues that I just talked about have to be solved in free agency. We don't have 14 draft picks. And expecting rookies to, especially late round rookies, to come in and start and think that, yeah, they're going to be great, to me is irresponsible. So at least 4 to 7 quality free agents, some depth pieces, some starters. I'm really not into big fish in free agency. I know I'm very much on an island with that. Very few big fish pan out, in my opinion. If Trey Hendrickson is available and he loves the Lions and he's willing to sign for, I'm not saying even reasonable money. I'm saying if he's willing to sign for $30 million and you can make that happen, go ahead and make it happen. But with the amount of people that are probably going to be interested in his services, even fresh off injuries, right? Even fresh off injuries, he's probably going to command 25 to 40 million per year, because even like somebody with the money is going to come in like, hey, I got the money though, and I'm okay with spending it. And we don't necessarily have the money because we need to fill several positions, most of them role players, but at the end of the day, we need people that are good in those roles, right? And who are we bringing back in-house? Like, who in the world are we bringing back? Like, Alex Anzalone, I'm cool if he go. I'm sorry. Meek, bye. Love you, man. Bye-bye. But who are we bringing back in-house? And that'll inform how we can attack the draft. Because there's just so many questions, man. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, it's hard for me to do a quality mock draft if we got all these questions. And how much do we believe in the hurt guys, right? the Rake Straws, the DJ Reeds, the Terrions, the Aleem McNeils, the guys that had down years and injury-filled years or weren't playing at all, are you going to draft and move in free agency like they don't exist? And if they don't exist in your mind while you're doing your draft and your free agency and all that, why are they on the team? These are the questions we got to ask, right? With Aleem, I understand he didn't even get a training camp. I would love to see him after a training camp. I support the fact that he got signed early because I believe you should always sign people that you believe in early. And he had given you quality football for 3-4 years before he got signed, and he literally hurt his knee in the year that everybody was getting hurt. Right. Same time, got DJ Reed. Didn't look too hot. Terrion, as soon as he started turning the corner, shoulder. I'm looking at some of the stuff that he does. I need him to be more of, and in general, because I'm gonna do a cornerback draft guide. In general, we need some more fearful corners. That fearless stuff, like him taking on tackles and screens and stuff. Like, bro, you don't. I know, bro. Try to Olay that. You know what I'm saying? You trying to set an edge against a 300-pounder Terrion. We don't need, like, him messing his shoulder up is not a surprise to me because he tries to hit like a safety. He plays a little bit too big, for my opinion. Levi O and Pascal, I'm not going to say I don't respect their existence, but to me, they should be looked at like training camp bodies. And that's really all the questions that I have for y'all. Like, it's one of those things, like, these are the most important questions of the all season. What questions and what answers do you feel like is the best answer? Like, what are your answers to these questions? And do you feel like there are bigger questions in this offseason that I didn't necessarily talk about? And whether it's game day, draft day, or another day in between, it's Lions Live 365. Please like and subscribe. Peace out.